From Caterpillars to Butterflies, Episode 14, Self-Love.
Welcome to the From Caterpillars to Butterflies Personal Growth Podcast. Just like the caterpillar is destined to become a butterfly, you too are designed for a beautiful transformation. This is where you go to grow and transform your life. And now, here's your host, Certified Life Coach, Charlene Dior.
Hey, this is Charlene, your host of the From Caterpillars to Butterflies Personal Growth Podcast and founder of FromCaterpillarsToButterflies.com. This is where you go to grow. We talk about all things personal growth right here on this podcast. So if you want to grow your life, you are definitely in the right place. And in honor of Valentine's Day, I wanted to dedicate this episode to love. And not just any kind of love, self-love. I'm going to be sharing with you specific ways for you to love yourself more and to show yourself that you love yourself more. So this is especially critical for you if you struggle with the idea of loving yourself, which I know is a lot of people. So you definitely want to be tuned in here and maybe even have a pen and paper to write down those things that resonate with you so that you can try them later when you have some time. So the first method that I want to talk about is mirror work. So mirror work is something that I learned from Louise Hay. She has a book called Mirror Work, 21 Days to Healing Your Life, which walks you through 21 different exercises of mirror work. So here's how mirror work works. You sit or stand in front of a mirror. You look yourself deep in the eyes, not at your physical eyes, but you're kind of looking past your physical being and body. You're looking deep. And you're simply going to say, I love you. I love you, Charlene. Charlene, I love you. And it's really, really powerful. A good friend of mine was telling me that she was working with a relationship coach who actually assigned this exercise as homework. Because it's kind of like if you can't hear, I love you from yourself, then how can you hear it from someone else? Or if you don't believe that you are lovable, how can you believe that someone else can love you, right? So it was really designed to help her really be in touch with the fact that she's lovable and that hearing that she's lovable is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And it really helps open up those lines of communications in romantic love so that you believe what your partner's telling you when they're telling you something and you don't think the worst. You really are more capable in believing the best. But what I thought was interesting about her experience is that when she looked herself in the eyes, she kept wanting to break eye contact. It didn't feel comfortable to her. It didn't resonate with her right away. And that's okay. That just tells you that there is some opportunities here for you to get more comfortable. And it might not even be that she doesn't love herself. It might just be that she's uncomfortable with hearing it. So this allows you to get comfortable with loving yourself, but also receiving love and being able to hear it and to be able to also return it. So that could be one of your reactions, that you might look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. And you might really not want to stay in eye contact. You might find yourself wanting to look away, and that's fine. But over time, you will get more comfortable with the exercise and you'll really start to feel it inside yourself. If it's especially hard for you to look yourself in the mirror and say that you love yourself, what you can also say is, I'm willing to learn to love you. I'm willing to learn to love you, Charlene. You might start off with just saying, I like you. Look yourself in the mirror and start with saying, I like you. And then graduate to, I'm willing to learn to love you. And then, I love you. That's an option as well. My experience with mirror work was different. And I actually want to read you my journal entry the first day I did it. What I said is, I felt a little emotional. There was a slight intensity, but I enjoyed it. I feel I already love myself, but this will show me ways in which I don't. It felt good, freeing, special to look at and acknowledge me. especially when I said my name. So you might be like me and feel very comfortable standing in front of the mirror telling yourself that you love yourself. You might already have a very high sense of self-love, and that's great too. What I like to do sometimes is to say, I love you, Charlene, and I'm willing to learn to love you even more. And that's powerful too, because when I make this a daily practice and I look myself in the eyes and I say that I'm willing to learn to love you even more, it's really hard to go and just act foolish. It's really hard to not be on top of my goals and my health and all the ways in which I show love to myself. It's a helpful reminder that I love myself and I have to treat myself as if I love myself. So even if you have a healthy level of self-love, this exercise can still help you. And I think about how we end up in so many situations that don't serve us and that serve other people more than they serve us. And I think a part of it is because we're always telling people how much we love them and how much they mean to us. And of course, if I love you and you mean a lot to me, of course I'm going to go the distance for you. Of course I got your back. Of course I'm going to help you out, right? Brene Brown talks about how, we have this tendency to rehearse bad things. Like a parent might look at their child while they're sleeping and think, oh my gosh, I love you so much. What am I ever going to do if I lose you? Type of thing. We're so used to expressing our love to other people. We're so used to sitting and embodying the love that we feel for others to the point that we start to worry or fantasize about something bad happening to them and how are we going to handle it. We're used to sitting in those feelings and letting them take over us. But it's also healthy to sit in the feelings of love for yourself. It's also healthy to know that you are worthy of your loving as well. You are worth you going the distance for you as well too. I think about how we end up in relationships that are just the wrong relationships because we love the other person so much. And we know that we love them. We tell them that we love them. We tell ourselves that we love them. And we let ourselves feel all the love that we have for them bubbling over. Like, have you ever sat and just cried because you love someone so much? We're used to letting ourselves feel and acknowledge the love for other people. And then we say things like, I don't want to give up on them. I love them so much. But if you knew that you loved you so much, you would not want to give up on yourself. And you would be less likely to be in situations that don't serve you. Self-love is critical, but acknowledging for yourself that you do love yourself and that you want the best for yourself can help you make the best of the rest of your life. It can help you get up and exercise when you don't feel like it, because I love myself and I'm willing to learn how to love myself even more. And one of the ways that I can love myself even more is getting up off the couch and exercising. At least that's what I tell myself. Okay, so the first exercise is mirror work. The second exercise is what I call 100 things I love about me. So I like to tell people to write down 100 things that they like, that they love about themselves. Because a lot of times we focus on what we don't like about ourselves, what we don't love about ourselves, and we forget that there's some good things about us. Or sometimes other people tell us all the things that we're not, and all the things that they don't like about us, and all the things that we're inadequate about. And we let those things sink into us and let them be the only definition of us. So this exercise really helps you pinpoint all the wonderful things about you, because I don't care who you are, where you've been, what you've done, there are still hundreds of amazing things that are lovable about you. And sometimes we just have to remind ourselves. So write down 100 things you love about you. You can even categorize these. You might say, these are the things that I love about my personality. These are the things I love about my physical appearance. These are things I love about my accomplishments, right? So you can find different buckets or categories to help you make this list. And then I recommend meditating on the list of the 100 things that you love about yourself every day for 30 days. You want to pull it out and go over the list every day for 30 days. And then after the 30 days, whenever you're feeling beat up, whenever someone insults you, whenever you feel like you made this huge mistake, you ruined this opportunity, you suck, then you go back and pull out your list and you remind yourself of all the great things that you embody. All the things that are lovable about you. You pull out your list. The third exercise is really to address the things that you can change. So nobody's perfect. If you find yourself unlovable, or you have a hard time loving yourself, or you have a hard time believing other people can love you, then where is that coming from? Do you think that you're not lovable because you have a little extra weight? Do you think that you're not lovable because you don't have the career that you want? Whatever is driving some of those feelings, don't be afraid to address them. And I think that a lot of times we're afraid to acknowledge our growth opportunities because we think that if we ignore it, then it's not true. And so we just let it keep going on and on and on because we don't want it to be true. But don't be afraid to address those things that you can actually address. And look, I'm not saying that if you're carrying an extra few pounds, then you're right for not loving yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that you have an opportunity to improve the things that you can improve. If something about yourself is bringing you down, you're losing your confidence over it, it's perfectly okay to address it. Address those things about yourself that you can address, that can help you feel more confident and feel more lovable and feel more special or feel more like yourself or whatever. Just don't be afraid to address the things that you can change. The fourth exercise is to forgive yourself. So there are some things that you cannot change. There are some things that you cannot undo. Learning to forgive yourself can help you remove that barrier from loving yourself, because you might be beating yourself up over things that have happened, things that you've done, and because you did this 10 years ago, you're not lovable today. And what that really means is that you have to forgive yourself. How do you do that? One, acknowledge that you did the best that you could at the time. I believe that when we make decisions, a lot of the times we only have a certain set of information available to us. Information about ourselves, information about the situation at hand, information about the other people. Like, we are not omnipresent. We are not all-knowing. We only have a certain set of knowledge available to us. And so if we're making decisions, the best decisions that we can make with the information we know, then we can forgive ourselves and let go for not knowing what we didn't know back then, right? So acknowledge, I did the best I could at the time, and now I'm different. Now I'm wiser. I can make different choices now. If you didn't make the best decision at the time, if you knew you were making the wrong decision at the time, you can still forgive yourself. I am wiser now. The new me is new and better and stronger and wiser. And I would not make those same decisions today. I can't undo them, but I can do better going forward. So accept the moments or the times that you didn't do the best that you can do, but don't beat yourself up over it. Acknowledge it and know that you're better now and that you're going to be even better in the future. Don't replay the same events in your head over and over again. That's a part of the reason why we have a hard time forgiving ourselves and others, because we think about the thing a million times. And every single time that we think about it, we let ourselves feel those feelings. We think about what we should have did or what we should have said, and we just bring up all those old emotions. And so it's hard to forgive when you keep purposefully making yourself feel the bad or wrong or disadvantaged emotions. So stop replaying the event in your head over and over again. What you can do instead, when you find yourself replaying an event in your head that does not serve you, is to immediately change the story in your head. So I've shared a kabillion times that I was fired from my job. and I ended up having a new job a few weeks later. But I was still like, those people were so wrong. Like, what's wrong with them? Who does that? Who sends people unemployed without health insurance and without jobs because they didn't take notes in a meeting? Those people, right? And so here I was with a new job that paid me more money, that had more vacation time, that had more a higher 401k match, and I'm still bitter and unforgiving over these people, and I'm running it through my head. And when I catch myself doing that, then I just change the thought. Thank you, God, that I have this new job that pays me more money. Thank you that my boss isn't crazy. So when you find yourself replaying the same sad story in your head that is bringing up all those feelings of unforgiveness for yourself or someone else, what else can you think about? What good has come out of the situation? You can say, thank you, God, or thank you, Charlene, for applying for this new job. What else can you say or be appreciative or express gratitude for when you find yourself replaying the events? Treat yourself like you would treat a good friend or loved one. If your best friend came to you, or your sister or your mother came to you and they said, I screwed up, this is what I did, what would you tell them? And I know it's cliche advice, but it works. What would you tell someone else who said, I screwed up so bad, it is so unforgivable, I am so unlovable? What would you say to them? Say that to yourself. And if you need to write that down on an index card or wherever and carry it with you, then when you find yourself feeling like you have screwed up so much that you can't forgive yourself, pull out the advice that you would give to your best friend and read it to yourself. And you can read it to yourself in the mirror. And actually, a great mirror work, which is probably also in the book, is I forgive you. I forgive you, Charlene. So work on forgiving yourself. You can also write a letter to the old you, the you from back then. You can meditate on the old you. I'm a big fan of guided meditations, and so you could do a guided meditation where you go back to that event that you think is unforgivable, and you talk to the old you, or you talk to the people that were involved, or just see yourself handling it differently. And the last thing in terms of forgiving yourself is just focus on something new. So if you screwed up something so bad, maybe you had a business deal that went so bad and you lost so much money, then now focus on the opposite, which is creating a new business and making new money. So what new thing can you do that kind of is balancing the old thing that you think is unforgivable? The next exercise or step is to lean on your spirituality. You can lean on God's love for you if you are God-fearing. Jeremiah 31:3 says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. So if you love God and God loves you, you can lean on the love that God has for you in order to love yourself. And you can ask God, why do you love me? And be prepared to listen to it. Meditate on it. God, why do you love me? God, show me what you see lovable in me. Mary Morrissey talks about how she was sick with kidney disease, and the night before her surgery, a woman comes into her room to pray with her, and she asks Mary, do you believe that both of your kidneys, because both of her kidneys had disease on them, that both of your kidneys can be healed tonight and you can go on to live a regular life? And Mary Morrissey said, no, I can't believe that. And the woman said, well, can you believe in my belief that you can be healed? So you might say, I don't love myself, but can you believe in God's love for you? And if God thinks you're lovable, then you just have to be lovable, right? So lean on God's love for you. And the last exercise or advice for really enhancing your own self-love is to lean on people in your life who love you. There are people in your life who love you to death. that could not imagine you not being in their life. And so recognizing their love for you, it's like a boomerang. Let it come back to you. The love that other people feel for you, let it penetrate your own mind and your own heart and your own desire that someone loves you. And if they can love you with all your imperfections and all the mean things that you do sometimes, or all the mistakes that you've made, if they can love you, then you can love yourself. You are indeed lovable. So those are my different techniques or exercises that you can practice on a regular basis to help you grow in your own self-love, to help you love yourself even more. Because like I said at the beginning, loving yourself is really kind of the foundation for everything else that you want out of life. Loving yourself is how you can accomplish your goals. It's how you can be a healthy size or weight. It's how you can have romantic love. It's how you can love God. It's how you can have a deep relationship with God. Like, you have to know love. And what better person to know to how to love than yourself? And I think that we have to make these daily, because we make loving other people a daily exercise. We tell other people that we love them every day. We write it in our gratitude journal. I have a gratitude journal where I list 5 things I'm thankful for that day. I'm thankful for my dog and my mom and my home and my sister and my dad. I'm thankful for all these other things and people that I love every single day. It's a practice to express love to other people. And we need to make that same practice for ourselves. We need to make it a practice to love ourselves every single day, and to be willing to learn how to love ourselves even more. So with that, I wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. I pray that it is filled with love from yourself to yourself, and love from all the people in your life who think that you are 100% absolutely lovable.
And now, a moment of meditation. If you're not driving, cooking, or doing anything that requires your full attention, take a deep breath and close your eyes as Charlene leads you into an inspiring meditation.
Take another deep breath in and exhale. I want you to think of someone that you love dearly. Could be a parent, a child, a pet, someone that you have a lot of love for. Bring that person to mind. Now I want you to feel the love that you feel for them. Let those feelings of love radiate your entire body and mind and soul. Let the love that you have for them bubble up inside of you. Really allow yourself to feel the love. Let the love that you feel for this person take over. Now I want you to increase the intensity. Take the love that you feel for this person up a notch. Feel even more love for them. Let it radiate your body even more. Feel the love bubble up inside you more and more. And just when you think that you could not love them even more, increase the intensity again. Take it up a notch. really let yourself sit in all the feeling of love that you have for this person and all that they mean to you. Feel the love radiate throughout your entire body. And now I want you to imagine or pretend that you yourself are standing in front of you. Take all the love that you have flowing through your body right now, all the love that's been bubbling up, all the intensity that has been growing and growing, and give that love to yourself. And then see yourself receiving your love. Tell yourself that you love yourself. Continuing to give more love. Continuing to receive your own love. Feel the intensity of the love that's radiating from you and to you. On the count of 3, I want you to open your eyes, feeling love for yourself, from yourself and to yourself. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Feel the love that you have for yourself. Carry this feeling with you today and always. You are worthy of your love. On this episode, I talked about ways that you can increase your own self-love. I talked about mirror work and 100 things I love about you. But what I'd like to leave you with is, we have a practice of how we show other people love. We have a practice for how we show our kids love, our mate love, or family members love. That might mean going out on a date night every week. It might mean that you make your kids breakfast every morning before they leave the house. Think about the ways that you show other people that you love them on a regular basis. And then think about how you show yourself love on a regular basis. And if you don't have a practice of showing yourself love on a consistent, regular basis, I want you to do some thinking about how you can do that. How can you give yourself your own love on a regular, consistent basis? How can you make self-love a practice? I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments in the notes or send me an email at charlene@fromcaterpillarstobutterflies.com. I'd love to hear what your practice is. And I hope that you take this with you and that you really make self-love a lifestyle. And it's not something that you just talk about, but it's something that you actually practice regularly. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, grow on purpose.
Thanks for listening to the From Caterpillars to Butterflies podcast, your one-stop shop for all things personal growth. For today's show notes and even more tools and resources to help you transform the life you have into the life you love, go to www.fromcaterpillarstobutterflies.com.